clear.
At 6 after. I'll tell you what, we won't even be to you guys yet until 6 after probably. So that's cool.
Cool.
Oh yeah,
That's good.
Isn't it?
So just tell him to put himself on mute and jump in when he's ready.
All right. Yeah, I just had a big old bolt outside, so
Cool.
yeah.
Hey, so quick tell me. Oh, so we're live. So anyway, welcome to Stormfront Freaks Raw. So we call this Raw because this is the recording of our audio podcast. We are episode 171. This is part one of our 3-part tropical storm training series. So this is kind of the next step. We did about a year ago or so. We did a severe storm training series, 3-part series that was really popular. People loved. So we decided we're going to do a tropical storm training series in winter. Because this is normally when we can get the experts, I guess, sort of.
Well,
but sort of our experts are in Buffalo chasing a winter storm now. But so we call it Raw because this is the recording. So you're going to get all the crap and all the stuff we cut out. You have the pleasure of actually watching. So
awesome.
Lucky you, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, it's winter, but a week ago I was on the Florida coast shooting in a hurricane, so
That's true.
that
That is
doesn't
true.
much matter anymore, I don't think.
So hey, even though we're live, Brandon, and we'll cut this out of the audio podcast anyway, but what were you guys doing in New York? Something super secret, special?
Oh no, we just had meetings with some production companies and about some different stuff we've been shooting, some documentaries we've been doing, and did that, and then hopped over here. So
Good meeting?
yeah, it just timed out good. So
Okay. All right. Cool. So did you drive then to Buffalo, or how'd you get from?
no, I hopped a flight. It's
Okay.
it's a long drive, and the rental cars out of New York City were a lot more expensive, so it paid for the differential in the flight. So we just hopped
Okay.
over.
Cool. All right. Let's do.
Let's
Get
a sound check. Jen, tap your
I'm
mic.
hearing is someone watching TV or listening
No,
to a
that's
radio?
Brett. He's moving.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Jen,
Get out of the way,
that was
Brad.
good. Maz.
Brad.
Oh, check 1 2. Hey.
Yep. Brady.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yo, can you hear me?
And
Oh, you're really echoey.
Brett,
Am
Brady,
I?
you're not on your mic for sure.
tap your mic.
Yeah, I
that's-
realized I forgot
I
my
didn't
mic,
hear
so I'm
anything.
on my headphones. Hold on.
He's still on meds, right?
Brady, you look like a serial killer right now.
Do I
not
really?
gonna
I was
lie.
trying to. Am I still echoey?
Yeah.
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 In a good way.
I wonder if it's the room. Is it like
Yeah.
really bad?
Do you have
Yeah,
a mic,
it's
or are
not
you
good.
just using your?
Do you have any other options? Either other closet you can jump in, or you don't have your mic?
Just move that body out of that
Brady.
other room, and then
Brady, we were just talking before you came on.
Hold
All
on.
the excuses you have every time you
I know.
either don't come on the show or you come on the show.
Oh my god. Yeah, I'm down in Florida right now, and
Aw.
it's bad. It's bad down here. But so this is really actually very practical that
What's
we're talking
bad?
about this because
What's bad?
yeah, it's wild.
He's down in Florida. That is
Where are you
his folks'
exactly,
home.
Brady?
I mean, it
Oh,
sounds a
makes
little.
sense.
It's a little echoey, but it'll work.
It'll work. Yeah. It's,
Should I turn my input down?
no, just
Yeah,
don't
so-
talk.
Wow.
Wow.
Welcome to the show, Brady.
Boom.
Brady, how's it feeling though? How's your tooth? How's everything?
So I got a big screw in there.
Ooh.
So I don't actually have a tooth yet. That's a fake. But I got a big screw in there, so it's all nice
That's
and dandy.
exciting.
My sister actually just had to do that, like go through that whole process too. So she had a screw and it like had to set in or something, and then she gets her tooth.
Yep. Yep.
All
This
right.
is one of my first drinks in like 2 weeks. I'm on
Sorry,
antibiotic.
we interrupted.
Yeah, go ahead, go
everybody's
ahead.
Mic check.
Sorry.
MJ, anybody else we need to check?
No, I think we'll be okay.
I think we're good.
check 1 2 1 2.
Yep.
So Phil,
Griggles
it's
is
the
good. He was
same-
good before, so.
It's the same agenda, just don't talk about Sudduth.
No,
right?
Mark Sudduth. Yep, Mark
Sudduth.
Sudduth can't make it.
Sudduth,
He's still he's still Brandon. He's driving to Buffalo. And he said he was still like 5 hours out. And
Ooh. So just B&B. Brett and Brandon.
so anyway, so Mark Sudduth will not be here. So, but we got
Okay,
Brett and Brandon.
Got it.
Here's what we'll do. So I'm going to do the quick opening. because I think Brett's doing his quick spot, and I'll do the teaser opening, and then before we get started, we'll just double check Brett's mic too, because he should be done with his spot by then, right?
Phil, one thing, can you maybe make a mention in the opening that Josh Morgerman won the best beard and storm chasing poll on the Stormfront Freaks website?
Hey, how about you cover that when I ask you what you're drinking?
Okay.
You can hit that.
I don't know, Greg. I don't know if you saw that picture I sent of you. I think you should win best beard.
Best beard. I don't know.
I didn't see a picture of Greg. Oh, no, yeah, I didn't. I saw Maz's stash.
I thought I did Greg too. Hold on.
I saw me with the hair and the beard.
That's great.
All right, Josh Burnham, what's up, man?
Phil.
Thunder Snow.
Phil, can you give a little more volume to your?
Yeah,
just a little bit.
I think it's set to be automatic because that's
Okay.
what was.
Well, there, you've moved the mic closer. That's better.
Okay, so we're gonna do the teaser. All right, coming in 3, 2. Hey, Storm Freaks, it's Phil. This is part 1 of our 3-part Tropical Storm training series. We've got tropical training. All right, take 2. 3, 2. Hey, Storm Freaks, it's Phil, and this is part 1 of our 3-part Tropical Storm training series. We have tropical chasing experts in the studio tonight in Brett Adair and Brandon Clement, and they're here to talk about how to prepare for documenting a tropical storm. We've also got more, and it's all on episode 171 of the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
Boom.
All right.
Do you have control to turn up with your mixer, Phil? Just a little bit?
I did a little bit, and it's topping out on my mixer.
Okay, it's not too loud here. Just saying.
So otherwise, I would need to go to audio settings and turn off.
Stay close
automatically.
to your mic. Stay close to your mic.
Hey, I tried turning echo cancellation on. Is that good?
You can have that on.
It's not the echo of us. Echo cancellation will help if you don't have earbuds, so that we don't hear ourselves talking in your microphone. But it doesn't help you when you're talking.
Okay.
So, but if you don't have earbuds, leave that on anyway.
And Phil, we can't take you off auto mic on the platform because it starts to crackle, if you remember right.
Right. So I don't know why it's whatever. But okay, I'll stay close to my mic. I'll eat it. Okay, so waiting on Brett.
That's what they say.
How long is his hit, Brandon? Do you know?
Welcome to Adair time.
Okay.
How's everyone doing? That's a real question. Everyone doing good? Everyone having a good day?
Good.
Maz, did you see that picture of you I sent with long hair? I think that looks good.
I did not.
Oh,
Where is
Yeah, I didn't see that either. Did you send it just to Mass?
No, I sent it in the group me. Hold on, I'll send it again.
Group me.
And Angela, I didn't find out, where are you tonight?
I'm in Des Moines, Iowa.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Do you see that?
Yeah, that's scary.
What
In
app
that
are you
picture, you
using to
weren't
do that?
smiling either. Wow. It's a really scary kind of app. It's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
What's the app called?
Face app. You can literally you literally take a picture and you can change. I mean,
Yeah. That's freaky.
it's bad.
And yet in some ways.
Are
you
Bill, it's crazy.
Yeah, the one of Phil is great. If you want to be face app, just post a picture in the group me of you like staring straight ahead at a camera. This one my friends did of me, but oh gosh. So Phil,
right.
today I was helping our neighbor. She waited a month to clean up from the hurricane,
Yeah.
and I walked into her house and there were mushrooms growing on the ceiling.
Oh
Oh, wow.
my!
What?
So the house is a write-off then, right?
Yeah, but they were still living in it, and I was just like,
Wow.
they were in complete denial.
Well,
Oh,
a night with
God.
shrooms.
It was bad. Yeah, it was bad. I got in there, I started like coughing.
It's all
because-
relative. It's all
Not
relative.
the shrooms you're thinking about.
Oh, okay.
Brady, that's so dangerous, though. Oh my gosh.
It was crazy. Yeah, I like walked out and got like masks and put them on because I couldn't breathe. It was crazy.
And so, are they still there, or?
Yep,
Excuse me.
there.
But they're gonna could potentially get really sick.
I know. I've tried. I've told them like
Permanently.
4 times, so I don't know what else to do. It's crazy.
Oh my
All
god.
right, so here's what we'll do. We'll start, and when Brett comes on, if his audio is really bad, we'll just cut it quick, figure it out, and then go. Right, MJ?
Great.
Well, as opposed to
That's right. Waiting half an hour. Yeah. But
So am I just
right, so-
interviewing Brandon? I mean, am I just
no,
introducing Brandon?
you'll introduce both Brett and Brandon.
Okay. Should
So
I start
they'll-
with Brandon?
Brett's coming on, but yeah, just maybe ask your first question with Brandon. And I'll preface this, guys, by saying again, so the focus tonight is tropical storm, hurricane chasing and documenting, but tonight's focus is on prepping for that. So how do you prepare? Like, Maz, if you decided, hey, I want to go chase this hurricane, what do I need to pack? What do I need to prepare? What do I need to be thinking about? What do I need to be, kind of stuff like that? That's going to be the focus tonight.
Gotcha. Okay.
Makes sense. So just thinking about that, what to do with what do I need? What's the vehicle? What do I need to be thinking about? Once we get down there, what am I scoping out and scouting? What am I looking for? Yeah, just stuff like that. Make sense?
I'll put that all in one question. How's that?
There. Don't. We got to stretch this out a little bit.
I like one question, maybe with like 5 parts, maybe like a multi-part.
5-part question.
Question
Oh, I can answer it like 8 different ways too.
C2.
You could probably have 8 different answers, probably.
Oh, I
Brandon.
can write a book.
You should, dude. There
No.
you go.
Yeah.
There's the idea. $1 million idea you just came up with just now.
And
Just give
SFF
us
gets
10%.
10% royalty.
Oh, somebody else could write a book. I could tell it to them.
That's right. You're the
Yeah,
lazy
Dan
guy that doesn't
and
want to do the
Angela.
time lapse.
He just cut us out.
All right, so I'm going to do the opening. We'll introduce our co-host, find out what everyone's drinking, and then Maz, you can do the introduction. Then I would say, I don't know, around 9:40-ish, we'll take a break before we come back to the second segment. Sound good? Brandon, any questions?
Good.
Nope. Good. All right. So here we go. We are coming in 3, 2. Hey, welcome to the most entertaining weather podcast. This is the award-winning Stormfront Freaks podcast, and it's brought to you by the Drive Weather app. Drive Weather's interactive time slider. It updates the weather forecast along your route based on your departure time in real time. So you can have a safer trip by finding the best time to leave and avoid the bad weather. So add it to your phone at driveweatherapp.com. Thanks to all of our Patreon teammates. Love you guys. Thanks for supporting us. Shout out to those that are joining us live. I know Josh is joining us here live on YouTube. We got our VIPs are in the studio tonight. Both Angela and Dan are here. So glad they could both make it. You can also join our Patreon team. We've got multiple levels of perks and exclusive merch, or you can grab the last opening and become a hurricane level VIP and join us and our guests in the studio for every recording. So you can find that Patreon link at stormfrontfreaks.com. And thanks for joining and supporting us. So let's go ahead. It's always happy hour when we record. It helps us to kind of introduce our co-hosts, find out who's here tonight, puts a voice to the name, and lets you know we like to have a good time. So I'm going to go around the horn here. I'm going to start with MJ up in Minnesota. He's getting a little snow tonight during our tropical storm training series. But MJ,
Exactly.
what are you drinking?
We're warming up tonight with some Kraken and Coke.
Nice.
Nice.
Very good. Very good. Jen Watson down in Atlanta. What are you drinking? What flavor water are you drinking tonight, Jen?
What flavor water? I've got some hot cocoa, guys.
Okay.
in a fun kind of- I have to always do work after these recordings, unfortunately. But you've seen me drink, Phil. I can actually drink some good tequila.
I think you do your best work drunk, so you ought to give that a shot.
This is true.
But all right, we got Brady Harris. He's actually right now he's down in Florida cleaning up down in the Fort Myers area. But Brady, what are you drinking?
Yeah, I heard we were doing the tropical storm thing, so I wanted to come down for the show. But tonight I'm drinking a Category 1, and that was a drink I named aptly for a hurricane that came through here in Naples, Florida. It's a little bit of rum and a little bit of Canada Dry because that's the only mixer I could find in the house because everything else was gone. So,
Love it.
Did someone like come in the home during the hurricane and
no,
vandalize and loot your house
it's
of
just
all
my
the other
mom.
drinks?
She just got down and threw everything away. So, that was the only thing.
Got it. All right, Greg, you're getting a little snow up there in Canada. Greg, what are you drinking to help you warm up?
I've got I call it a Tim Horton. This is Canadian whiskey, some coffee liqueur, and Coke to go along with it. And it's delicious, and it's keeping me warm. And it's, oh my God, so cold. Minus 20 Celsius up here right now.
Why do you call it a Tim Horton?
Well, Tim Hortons is a coffee chain
liqueur
here in Canada. Yeah.
Gotcha.
You don't know Tim Hortons, Maz?
I thought it was a steakhouse.
Okay, no, it's
Now,
not.
what's that in Fahrenheit? I'm not really
That's
good with
Morton's,
math.
isn't that
Big
Morton's?
deal
Oh,
in
yeah.
Canada.
Morton's, yeah.
It's, Bob Jones.
All right, Maz in Cincinnati, what are you drinking, buddy?
I've been drinking for a little while here.
You have.
I'm back to the Cincinnati. Instead of whiskey this time, I'm doing straight bourbon, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Cincinnati Distillery, just letting you know.
And it's all their stuff is clear?
Oh,
it's a little yellow. Okay.
Is
We'll
your
give you
cup
that.
green?
I'll run it through again.
We'll give you that. All right, Maz. Hey, Greg, we forgot to ask you about our little contest on the website.
Yeah, listen, you guys may have noticed that we revamped the website, and I put up a poll, best beard in storm chasing, and we had 6 great storm chasers in the mix, and Josh Morgerman, who we're going to have on, I think, next show, right, Phil? Next show, we're going to have Josh
correct,
on?
yep.
Yeah, and Josh won best beard in storm chasing, and so congratulations, Josh. Check out stormfrontfreaks.com. Our next poll question, which will be up this weekend, is going to be, if you could go back in time, which famous tornado event would you want to actually witness for yourself? So that'll be a fun one to see what people are going to say. It's going to be a ton of fun.
We need to post Josh's. We should come up with some kind of virtual trophy for that.
Yeah,
because he'll post that and all his. I don't know if he's got a name for his followers. Doesn't who's the singer that
Swifties?
just like broke Ticketmaster?
Swifties, Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Swifties.
Swifties. That's what they're called. Josh Morgerman has some Morgerman.
How about duties?
I don't know what you call them. But anyway, all right, moving on, Maz, back to you. Let's get to our guests.
Awesome. We've got Brett Adair and Brandon Clement. Brett is an Alabama-born and raised meteorologist. Upon graduating from Mississippi State University, Brett quickly launched his career back in 2016 with Weather Nation TV as a field meteorologist tracking dangerous storms. He is also a business owner and operates Live Storms Media, a brokerage firm for professional videographers and storm chasers around the world. And Brandon Clement, I almost said Brandon Clement Stone, not sure why, but the world's leading independent weather videographer over the past 5 years. Brandon Clement has been storm chasing and documenting natural disasters for more than 20 years. Now, catch this.
Wow.
His videos have been seen by billions with a B globally. He resides in Mississippi, but travels the globe covering weather and other events. And it's awesome. I'm excited. I want to ask you first question, Brandon. So when you're getting ready to go and you're like, do you have a list? You're like, let's see, I need toothbrush. What are you packing? How are you getting ready?
So I've got go bags set up for most situations. I've got a room in my house that's got nothing but gear and different bags and set up so I can just grab them
Sounds
then
like
my
if you had
suitcase.
a pregnant wife or something, right? You had
Yeah,
those go
yeah.
bags to hit the hospital.
Exactly.
That's great.
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to name the storm and go after it. So
So what's in your go bag?
it depends what I'm going after. If it's a hurricane, I've always got my drone kits, but I switch out what drones I use in different situations, and I've got different lighting setups, and I always keep mostly the same cameras. That I can just grab my camera bag. That's good for everything. Then I have for hurricanes, I'll have some supplies, some foods, and stuff like that. And if I go for wildfires, I have a bag that's got all my fire gear. So I mean, volcanoes, I've got respirators and masks and just different setups for everything.
Talk about the hurricane bag though. What's so you mentioned different drones, you mentioned food snack. Get specific to help someone who's thinking, hey, this is something I might want to do, or the person that's been chasing, tornadoes and supercells, but now they're thinking of doing a hurricane. Kind of help them think about, hey, here's the things you really need to pack and think about.
Yeah, it's a completely different world between tornadoes and hurricanes. You're talking normally 3 days of access to nothing. So think about everything you would need over a 3-day period, and then think about everything you would need over a 3-day period in total chaos. And that's what you pack for a hurricane. So I'm looking for to save room. I'm just looking for calories like Cliff Bars, water. I basically just water. Sometimes I'll bring some coffee drinks if I want some coffee, but mostly it's just water is my main thing. And yeah, it's not a lot of variety, not a good menu, but it's just what gets you through. As far as gear and equipment, I need gear that or drones that'll stand up in higher winds. I need multiple cameras because you're dealing with a lot of water and you're just going to go ahead and expect one to fail. Tires are a big thing for hurricanes. Gas is a big thing for hurricanes. So I like to have 40, 50 gallons of gas, and I like to have a full-size spare, a regular spare. I keep an electric jack and drill in the car and tire patching kits because when you're running over all that debris, you're gonna get holes, and if you get a flat, you're dead in the water.
Any time lapse gear? Any time lapsing?
No, I keep the time lapse gear in Buffalo.
Now, Brandon. So you said 3 days. When you typically go to chase hurricanes, are you planning on like staying after it's over? Is that why you pack that much gear? I guess would you ever pack 1 day and then get out, or is it most of the time you can't get out? Or
well, it depends. I mean, every hurricane is different. You're going down for a fast moving Cat 1 or a stalled out Cat 3 like Sally. There's big differences there. So you need to be prepared for just about anything. So I like to have a 3-day supply no matter what. I'm usually hanging around after. I cover the damage. We like to do stories with people. We like to really immerse ourselves in the community afterwards. So, I've stayed in Puerto Rico after Maria for almost a month. So you just have to be ready to adapt and be resourceful and not be stressed out. You just got to go with the flow and understand how to work things and problem solve. But for the first, that 3-day period, you want to be completely self-sufficient.
Hey, I have a question that I'd like to address.
Forgotten something?
I'd like to address a question to Brett for a minute. When you are preparing for a hurricane in South Florida, for example, or anywhere really in the Gulf Coast of the United States, that's one thing. But a hurricane hitting, a third world country, a small island in the Caribbean or something like that, obviously that's a completely different animal. What do you do differently in that environment versus something on U.S. soil?
It's funny you asked that, Greg, because we've actually done that this year already. Brandon and I did that together on Puerto Rico during Fiona, and then Brandon ended up hopping down to Cuba before Ian made its way across Cuba. So there are very real challenges, and they're very different. We're going to go in typically on a U.S. landfall. We're prepping. We're going multiple days ahead of time. got a really good idea of the forecast, but we also know that we're not, we can't forecast everything to a T. So we're prepared if we have to move at some point. So that's part of it. But when it comes to places that are not attached to lower 48, basically we go in several days in advance, and sometimes it's a big risk. We can spend a lot of money going to these areas that we think are going to get hit, but we don't necessarily know 100% because we want to get down there 3 or 4 days in advance so that we can meet people, make connections and contacts, and have things lined up. We do things a little bit differently than most traditional storm chasers. Typically, when we're on a storm, 3 days before landfall, and it's not a slouch for us to stay there at least 7 days after landfall and assist and get stories, because I'm telling you, such as Ian, one of the biggest things about Southwest Florida when they were just devastated was the people wanted to talk. It was traumatic, and they felt like that they were getting a release talking to someone. So, we're carrying extra water for people that we may come across that don't have anything left. So we're also we're trying to supply needs. We're working with several different groups to help those impacted people in those zones here on the U.S. soil or abroad if we can. So it's very, very challenging.
So I've got a question for both of you. Just because you guys have both, chased tropical storms, what's the one thing that you pack that surprises people? And then what's the one thing, like, do you have a good luck charm, or is there something that's like personal to you that you're just like, you know what, I bring it on every single chase?
Stuffed animal.
Yeah, stuffed animal. Brett, we'll go with you first.
Oh man, that's tough. Because he and I think a lot alike, except for Buffalo, where I brought nothing. I expected to go right back home after a 1-day meeting, but I'm here with no clothes or anything else. But typically, we take 3
That
or
makes for
4
good
of
video,
everything.
Brett. By the way,
It does. It
That's
does.
good.
And
That's good.
and I feel like it's almost made for me getting the flu. That's the reason my drink of choice tonight is black coffee. So I'm sitting here trying to get rid of, I've got some kind of gunk flying over from JFK last night. But, my daughter gave me this little squid, and it turns inside out. It's either black when it's mad or it's gray when it's happy. And a lot of times when I'm out, I'll throw that thing on the dash until things get active. And if we've had a successful trip, I'll flip it over and leave it on the dash until I get home. And we run the live stream, and she thinks it's the coolest thing ever. So it's just little stuff like that. I mean, you've got to have some sort of positivity. Let's say that, because a lot of times we go in there and we see a lot of bad stuff because we're staying after the fact. So we put ourselves in that position a lot of times, but you've got to have some sort of light shed so that you can keep your morale up. And, little things like that will definitely help.
I love that. Brandon, what about you?
Oh, let's see. I had this shaman give me this special. No, not really. I if it doesn't have 3 uses for me, I don't want it. I've got so much gear and stuff around already that it's just it's hard to keep up with.
Typical tactical Brandon.
Yeah.
Is
I
there
know that's
something
not
that
the most fun
surprises
answer.
people?
But,
Is there something that like?
and what was the other part of the question?
Is there something, or what's the one thing that surprises people that like you need to bring? Like, remember to bring deodorant, or like trash bags, or like.
That's surprising. Bring deodorant.
I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
Okay, yeah. So Hurricane Ian went to Cuba, and in my bag I had US dollars, pesos, and euros. And I keep cash, but I keep cash in multiple currencies. And when we got to Cuba, we had to get the Cuban money. And at one point in 4 hours, I spent 5 different currencies. So, yeah, it was out of necessity, not as a game. So, that was one of those times where it's like, yeah, this stuff comes in handy. Those euros had been in my bag for 3 years.
That's actually
But
really
you
smart.
never know when you need them.
So Brandon, is there something that you see repeatedly? Because I'm sure you've seen over your career doing this. You've seen lots of people that are like, I'm gonna go chase a hurricane. I've been in Tornado Alley, and I'm gonna go chase a hurricane, and I'm gonna go drive, and I'm gonna go put myself in that position. What's the one, like, if you could pinpoint one thing that everybody is doing wrong, one thing that like is like underprepared, not ready for that environment? Brett, I can see it in your face right now. You're like, I got the thing.
I don't want to do anything because I'm going to mention some names, and that's probably not going to be a good thing. Brandon, I mean, I think just there's some young kids that are out there that are up and comers, and they just really don't understand when you tornado chase many times. Well, more often than not, Greg, and you know this from being out in the plains so much. Those tornadoes out there may not hit anything. We may see a lot of tornadoes in the field in the eastern plains of Colorado, and then later that night, we're going to have a state dinner at 10 o'clock wherever. Right. Well, it's not like that with a hurricane. Your steak dinner might be over for a couple of weeks, especially if you go to Fort Myers Beach or Sanibel Island or Pine Island or, any of those things. I know some people who were stuck on a bridge out there and almost cost themselves. And literally, I think that may have been hurricane number 2. So we have a growing problem. So let me say this. I'm not going to advocate for hurricane chasing. It's becoming super saturated, and I think Brandon can agree that's something that we're getting more concerned of. Even in Nicole, I had a conga line of like 15 cars with spotter dots literally right behind me, when I'm trying to get to a place for a shot, and then also trying to keep myself out of a potential bad situation as an eye is coming in. And, it's becoming a thing where, eventually things catch up to you. The mistakes and the oversights, they will catch up to you. I mean,
what's the biggest oversight? What's the biggest oversight? What are people doing wrong?
Brandon.
Lack of experience. They don't know the areas. So my first hurricane was Hurricane Opal at 95. And I don't want to talk down on people because if they want to go chase a hurricane, by all means, go chase it. Do what you want to do. But what I see from a distance looking on, it's like, okay, this is going to get some people in trouble, is running down into surge-prone areas, not understanding how the water works, particularly in places like Louisiana or Great Bend of Florida, where you've got large swaths of low-lying, swampy area, and it's very complex the way the water works in those situations, and even the most experienced people only have an idea of what's going to happen. And I've seen people put themselves in harm's way there. There's one chaser that I think had to be rescued in Louisiana doing something really dumb behind, levee seat protection.
Same guy in Florida.
Yeah, he also had to get rescued in the surge in Florida as well. So, I mean, that's just wasting resources, and that's not right. But for the most part, people are putting themselves in danger. That's their prerogative. But if there's one thing I think they should learn is the way some of these surges work, where you're not expecting them to, especially in the bays and inlets and swamp areas where that water will back up, and you're not on the ocean front, and you're not expecting to see a 12, 14, 15-foot surge, and those happen.
Brandon, that actually brings up a really good point. Like, how do you learn that? How do you get that knowledge? Because quite frankly, I'm down here in Naples, Florida, where surge just hit, and there's 2 houses across the street where there was no water, and I have no idea. Is there some sort of resource that people can learn or figure out how a surge will work in a localized area that people can look at before they would go and actually chase one of these systems?
There's one thing that can get you all the knowledge that you need. Well, actually, there's a couple. One, we talked about going down in advance, and that's exactly why we do that. We go down in advance. We touch base with law enforcement, emergency managers, several people within the weather service, and we also look at the surge maps. So we've got an idea if we're dealing with a Cat 1. Surge maps are pretty detailed now, and that's great. But the second thing is experience. Experience tops everything. So there's a guy in Western Florida that, is probably one of the most prominent hurricane chasers out there now, and that's Jim Eds. I can call Jim Eds, and Jim Eds can just about tell me anything about any stretch of coastline where a major hurricane is hit in the United States. So having those type of resources available, Jim didn't know me from Adam many, many years ago, and was like, I'll share the ropes. We'll, Jonathan in the background. We will, we'll help you out any way we can, because he doesn't want to see anybody get hurt, and that's important too. But back to the topic of what to do and what not to do is, like Brandon and I, we definitely have a job to do when we go down there, along with the humanitarian type efforts. I'm afraid that with some of the stuff that's going on, some of these people, I almost wonder if we don't need a class, like a spotter class, that is geared toward hurricanes and not necessarily chasing them. But if you're going to choose to live in a hurricane zone, or if you want to attend a tropical conference, some of the do's that don't show where those resources are, because for a lot of people in general public, they're not that easy to find.
I mean, let's be honest. This is, everyone's got to start somewhere. Like, you don't just naturally start with experience, and you guys started at one point. But you talk a little bit about a spotter. Well, obviously the challenge that's always going to be there is usually in a hurricane or tropical storm area, they're evacuating, right? So they're not, like, no one's going to necessarily teach, okay, what to do if you decide to stay, although they kind of should, right? But they're probably not going to do that, which is kind of a little bit of what we're trying to do here tonight, is go, okay,
right,
if you're going to do this, here's what you need to plan for and prepare for. So I caught from both you guys talking about storm surge. So that sounds like that's a big one. Would you agree that just, you got to know storm surge and where you're at and where the maps are and what that's going to be? So tell me, when you guys are heading down, what are some of the things you're scouting for to prepare you for when landfall happens? So Brandon, start with you.
I really don't have to do a whole lot of scouting anymore. I've covered every inch from Brownsville, Texas to Outer Banks, and really just know the areas. I've been there so many times. 'Cause it's not just hurricanes; it's also tropical storms, and sometimes extratropical or subtropical. So I've just been to those areas a lot. But what I look for if I'm going to a new area, I'm looking for high ground roads with multiple escape exits. That way, if a tree falls behind me, I've got more than one way out. I'm looking for fallback points, emergency fallback points, like a garage or high ground parking deck, or secure bridge where I can get up, at least give me some protection from surge. I also really understand the way surge works with the winds. And if you don't know that, you're in trouble, because it can go from, hey, the surge isn't nearly as bad as we thought, to 15 feet of water really fast. And just because it's not coming in where you're standing doesn't mean it's not 2 feet lower back behind you and you get trapped. So that's probably the biggest thing that I'm looking for with scouting.
What about you, Brett? Like, when you're starting off, what are you wanting to know about your area when you get there?
So Brandon opened a soapbox there, and I'll tell you, and this is the reason for that. So I'm very passionate when it comes to the storm surge element tropical stuff, because guess what? All of us are susceptible. I got caught in surge, and Michael lost a vehicle, lost a lot of equipment, and I was not reachable for a long period of time. Matter of fact, the media outlet reported I was dead. So my family at home got to hear that I was dead. Now, I don't know if that was because I had a live stream going from the truck and everybody saw me leave. So I had a 25-year vetted meteorologist giving me information in the studio. And the problem with that is when they're on air, they don't necessarily see your location up to the second. And when it comes to a landfalling Category 5 hurricane, like Brandon said, winds perpendicular to the coast, when it shifts perpendicular, which can happen in a matter of seconds, the water's coming, and it's going to come with it, especially when you've got an area like the Gulf of Mexico, concave type coastline, water drives in. So again, it's dangerous even for the most professional people that are out there, and myself included. I'm not going to discount that. So I'm going down doing extra work for sure now. Brandon's very knowledgeable about this too. We typically are near the same place or in the same general vicinity when we talk and, coordinate these systems. Because look, that's also a thing. You need to have somebody who knows where you're at if something bad happens so that they know where to come look for you. And one thing that I have purchased, Jen, this goes back to what you said a little bit ago. One thing that is something that I will always have is I now have a satellite GPS with me that will broadcast if I lose all cell signal, because I lost cell signal. I had to climb on the A-frame of a home that was in the middle of Highway 98 that was surged out. And I was able to get 2 phone calls out. I was able to get one out to my boss and say, I'm not dead. Click. And then I called my family and I told them I'm not dead. They're all crying because someone has reported that I had died. So you got to also think about the other people in your life that are being impacted by what you're doing too. So again, you just be smart. And now you've got to have a backup plan for a backup plan for a backup plan, just like we have, a piece of equipment for a piece of equipment for a piece of equipment.
Fake news, Brett. You're not dead. Exactly. So hey, I'll tell you what, everybody. There's all kinds of severe weather hitting the country right now, and if you have to travel on the road professionally, or you're just taking a trip, you want to know the best time to leave. And again, you can do that with Drive Weather app. MJ, I got to take we got to cut that. I still have my old. This is Windstorm Products.
Yep.
So hold tight here. I'm going to pull this up.
4146.
Sorry, guys.
It's okay, Phil.
Behind the scenes. So you're going to want this one up there.
Stormfront Freaks After Dark.
That's right.
Oh, just wait till we get to the game show, guys.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
All right. So here we go. Coming back in 3, 2. Hey, I'll tell you what, if you live anywhere, a tropical storm can affect you and your home, or floods, high winds, doesn't matter. Don't let the next storm catch you unprepared. So whether your home is wood, it's concrete, or brick, we trust and recommend Windstorm products for all of the hurricane hardware you need for your storm shutters. They even have some great barriers for flooding, for your doors, all kinds of great stuff. Windstorm products, they are the world's largest online distributor of hurricane hardware and shutter installation tools. They even offer a $5 flat rate shipping to all states. So just visit windstormproducts.com now for your one-stop hurricane hardware shop. They are the official supplier of the Stormfront Freaks podcast. So, hey, I think we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to be right back with the guys talking more about preparation.
I thought for sure you were going to say whether your house is made of straw or wood or brick.
Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? The big bad wolf.
I love it.
Cool, guys. So far, you're awesome. Whoops, sorry, MJ.
Brett, are you going to be doing a time lapse of the snow? Brandon isn't. Too lazy.
So we're together. So here's the story. We went to New York. I brought nothing. I brought a pair of dress clothes, some dress pants, some boots, and let's go to Erie. Let's go to Buffalo. So I had to go and buy everything, literally like everything, all the way down to a tripod. And it's like, oh no. Yeah. And then the rental car's here. So the Bills were supposed to play. They canceled the Bills game. It's being played not canceled. They moved it. It's being played in Michigan and Detroit at Ford Field.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So everybody rented all the cars here. So I got here and a 3-day car rental was $2,000 for 3 days.
Oh Lord.
Because I mean, I've got to
Oh.
have a 4-wheel drive if we get 3 or 4 feet of snow. That's the only way we're going to get
Are
around.
you renting a Ferrari? Is that
No, hey,
It's a
it is an
Hummer.
SUV
A
or
Hummer,
Ferrari.
yeah.
Wow,
That new Suburban's pretty legitimate.
So, hey guys, one of the things we do is we always let our VIPs ask questions as well during the break. So, Dan and Angela, the floor is yours if you got a question for these guys.
I do. First of all, I have a little.
Hey, there we go.
You got an octopus too. Look at that.
Yeah.
Does it
I like that
switch to different colors? Oh,
There's
look at that.
Andrew.
It does. Oh,
There you
little
go.
pouty face, happy face.
So my question is, like, I'm a big fan of like hurricane history. Is there any historical hurricane that you wish you would have been able to be alive to chase?
All right, Brandon, go because I got 2.
Oh man, there's a lot. The obviously 1900 Brownsville or Galveston hurricane, and then probably the Labor Day hurricane in Florida are probably the 2 that
Both
that
those
stick
are
out.
Brett's, huh?
More recently, I was with a friend and we kind of dabbled a little bit with the Outer Banks of Andrew when it came on shore in Louisiana. That's where I lived at the time. But being in the eye of Andrew would also be way up there. I had plans to be in Dorian, and we flew in the backside of it. And if I had gone out there, I'd have had just some amazing video and experience I'd never ever forget because I'd have been clinging to the top of a palm tree. The building I was going to stay in was destroyed. So there are some.
Yeah, Brandon pretty much hit on the ones that I was thinking of too. I guess we could talk about a couple of the Western Pacific systems though, Brandon. Patricia was an interesting one down there in Mexico. I think that was the strongest one in the Pacific ever that struck Mexico, right in that area. And then Haiyan, that's the one. Haiyan would have been interesting because you're in a foreign territory. The biggest storm I've ever seen, other than really, it was as big as Katrina, a little bigger maybe. That would have been an experience in itself.
Thank you.
What drone do you take on a hurricane? Something that's more in line with high wind.
On this last one, I flew an FPV, a Mavic 3 Cine, flew my Mavic 2 Pro, and then I've got an Autel, and I flew every one of those drones at one point in the storm.
Yeah, and I've got pretty much all the Mavic series drones except that FPV, and we keep them all because, to be honest, there's certain situations where we can get that little Mavic Mini or Air 2S inside of spots that we can't get that Cine 3, but that one handles the wind the best. And I mean, we were flying in 60-ish winds after the bands came through. I mean, we had some gusts after the bands.
Yeah, I should have had video of my drone while I was shooting the aftermath of the Daytona Beach where the houses fell in and the tree falling in. So that wind was 60, gusting to 70 right on the open coast of a barrier island, and it was everything I had to keep that thing in the air.
And if you take any of them, expect to lose them. Expect to lose every one of them because I know Brandon and I both had lost drones. So
you guys have a squadron. You have your own. Like, do you have a name for your squadron of drones?
Flight 19.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it's gonna. Eventual death.
Yeah.
Thank God they're unmanned, huh?
Wow.
Do you have them like moisture resistant or any kind of weatherproofing?
Not really. It's they're
Duct tape.
I got future junkyards.
Okay.
Future parts. That's all they are. They're disposable cameras.
Okay.
And hopefully you can get enough video, enough times off of it to pay for the drone. It's basically all there is to it.
Every piece of equipment, if you make it serve its purpose and it pays for itself multiple times over and over, it's always expendable.
All right, appreciate it.
Alrighty, so here's what we'll do. We'll come back and we'll keep asking a few questions, maybe go for another 15 minutes, and then we'll hear the thunder snow from Buffalo. But that is the sound for our lightning round. So we'll play a little. We're going to play a little game with everybody, and then we'll go to our second break. Any questions?
Phil, can I do the first question for Brett as a follow-up to the last segment?
It's usually mine, but yeah, I'll give it to you.
Oh, no. I mean, after you. After
no,
you.
if it's a good follow-up, it would
I
make
think it's a
sense
good
to just
follow-up.
do it right away. Just
Okay.
do yours right away, and I'll come after you.
Can I have the second question then, Phil?
Third.
Sorry,
You're
Matt,
third.
I think-
I'm second.
Yeah.
You're third. All right, here we go. We are coming back in 3, 2. All right, hey, welcome back, everybody. We are talking preparation for a tropical storm, documenting that. What do we need to be thinking about? What do we need to be doing and preparing for? With Brett and Brandon. Greg, you got a follow-up question, right?
Yeah. Brett, before the break, you had mentioned, you talked about your situation personally with Michael, where you got kind of caught off guard. And I think it was well documented that Michael was one of those hurricanes with, I mean, it was what, category 1 or 2 or something. And within a very short period of time, 12 hours, I mean, that thing went from like category 2 to category 5, and it became this monstrous beast. And you, who, like, you know, admittedly, probably one of the best hurricane chasers on the planet, got caught off guard. It happens quick. Tell us about that experience and how you prepare for that eventual moment where you're in that personally bad spot that you never hope to ever be.
You know, great question, because it's something that I've talked pretty heavily about. And here's the thing: when you're in the field and you're actively on the ground, God love them. There's meteorologists in the studio, and they're fantastic at what they do. Sometimes they have too much to do. And, you know, Brandon got the phone call just like I got the phone call about going to Mexico Beach. And, Brandon declined wisely. And I was in, Port St. Joe, and things were starting to go downhill. Well, in Port St. Joe, there was a hospital that was in an elevation of about 24 feet there, a couple blocks inland that I could have went to. Well, I got a phone call and was, why are you not the eye? Why are you not going for the eye? And I'm like, I don't have time. I don't have time. I'm looking at the radar. I don't have time. Well, I trusted that judgment. We've been working together for a very, very long time, and I went toward the eye, and things started to go downhill as I was entering, 1 mile east of Mexico Beach. We had pretty much a condo came apart, flew over my truck. The roofing material was going everywhere, 2x4s, plywood, just basically when you get a pressure drop like that, things can explode when they get wind underneath them. They look like an explosion, but they're being ripped apart. Well, guy's on the phone with me, and he's like, you need to get up on a hill. Well, there's no hill because Mexico Beach was the one place that did not have anything really elevated, like a parking garage. Panama City, those areas, Fort Walton, Destin, they have those type of structures. There were even a couple over in, I believe, Apalachicola. But that area right there in between Panama City and Apalachicola, not a lot there. It was a community. It was community. It wasn't really a commercialized area, with condos or anything. It was homes. Well, continued that way, and then the surge came in, and the thought was that the surge isn't going to last long. Which, if we had a 20 mile per hour moving hurricane at landfall at that point, but that was also maximizing its strength. And upon that happening, the surge just started to come in, and I had a guy, literally the guy that was driving with me that worked for me. This guy's about 6'8" and about 475. So
Wow.
when I get out of the truck, water is ankle deep. We pulled back up beside one of the homes, and pulled up to a little retaining wall. And, I'm worried about my guy. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about him because I'm like, this guy's big. Can he get on top of this truck to jump this wall? Because we've got to get up some elevation somewhere. So, because I knew at that point, with the surge coming in as fast as it did, by the time I got out of the truck fully and walked to the rear of it, water was chest deep. So I knew I had to get up and get out as quick as possible. And by doing that, I mean, look, you got to think on the fly, or not think very much, because if you overthink, if you get scared, being scared is the number one thing that will kill you. If you have any fear, stop now, get out before it ever shows up. Because you have any kind of fear of what you're going to face, you're dead before you get there, in my opinion, because I watched that from some people. And, one thing that's awesome about today's age, I was running a live stream. We're seeing houses ripped apart, and somehow this live stream on my dash is still going out and broadcasting.
To this day, I cannot understand how I was able to watch that in real time, thinking, what plan is he on? Like, who's his provider?
So the funny thing about that is I had a live view and I had a bonded connection in there. I only had 2 cell signals, and we were trying to run lower bandwidth because that wasn't a great area. The only reason it ever stopped, there were 2 reasons. One is because water got in the truck and shorted everything out. But the other reason was there was a Verizon tower near us, and the fiber line got cut when the water tower fell, which was literally like 2 blocks over where that water tower fell from where I was at. And so on the live stream, homeowners of the yard that we pulled into had evacuated to Pensacola and were watching the feed. So word got to us, hey, kick the window out, whatever you got to do. The door should be open, break it open. We've got a refrigerator, we've got a dryer, we've got a washer, you can get clean clothes. Little did they know that their refrigerator floated in front of me on the live stream when it blew the bottom side of the house out. They watched it live as the refrigerator was going down Highway 90 into Mexico Beach. But we were able to get inside the structure, and literally it was a little shotgun house built in I think it was 1920. And literally you're looking at all 4 walls of the house. You got a bathroom, you got a kitchen, and you got a bedroom. But you can see in every corner where the roof's attached. We watched the walls flex and the roof try to peel off for 3 hours at the height of that storm, kind of sitting there. I documented a lot of it till my cell phone, was about to die, because I knew I had to stop, because if we ever got out, I had to have a form of communication. So we wrote it out. It passed us. And one thing we take is gas. So after it passed, the sheriffs came by. We started doing search and rescue, checking all the homes, because there were a lot of people that stayed. And a lot of those houses were really torn up. Well, we started checking places with the sheriff's department there. There were 3 officers. And then we had a guy come by on a UTV. And we had 5 gas cans strapped to the roof of the truck. So we bartered gas for a ride out. The weirdest thing ever, we met a guy there that owned a little place called the Fish House, and he had a FSU fiber line pipe to his one single house there. So I was able to get there, get footage up, and get in contact with everybody. And, sadly, a couple of weeks later, we went down to check on him and see how his business was going. He's cleaned his business out, had a heart attack, died.
Oh my God.
So that one's personal. That one's very, very, very personal. From the people, like what we talked about, the people that you meet, those connections that you make. I mean, we still have people down there, Brandon does as well, that we talk to all the time. We go through there all the time to support the businesses and go see them to see how they're doing, because, they're like, you guys stuck with us and you stayed down here and you came back. You didn't leave. You came back. That's where they had a big problem with people coming in and leaving. But we went back multiple times. So again, lifelong friendships there too.
What Brand? I want to find out, Brandon, you guys have been talking about, traveling and kind of when you hit your target, when you get to your target location, I want to know kind of what in your head, what's one of the first or some of the first places you want to get to, because when you're chasing a severe supercell storm, tornado, something like that, you're picking a target and then you're hanging out at the gas station, right? Or fast food place or something. But when you're going to go chase a hurricane and you're getting there in advance and you kind of know where it's going to be, Brandon, what do you what's one of the first places you're stopping at, or a couple of the first places you're going to stop?
I almost never stop. I constantly moving, constantly checking different areas. Always want to know what's behind me, what's in front of me, what's around me, and I'll be back at the same places repeatedly, just constantly checking them out. But what I'm looking for is mass chaos. The more chaos, the better for me. I just want, if the world's crumbling, I want to watch it. I know it sounds demented that way, but I want to be there. I want to document it. That's what I'm looking for. Obviously, I'm not hoping for anybody to be hurt or property be damaged, stuff like that. But when it's going on, I want to be in the middle of it. I want to be in the
So
heart
what do you mean by chaos when you're looking for chaos?
It depends on the storm. Every storm's different. So this last storm, Nicole, coming down, Jonathan actually identified the spot first on in Daytona Beach where the houses were, the erosion was coming against the houses. And as soon as we got out there, we're like, okay, this is going to be the story of the hurricane. We knew it. Unfortunately, the spot where it was backed up to the ocean. The power was cut off. Driving rain in with surge coming in. There was no way to be able to document it. Not even with a surge cam. I even called Brett. I was like, "Do you have any cam possibilities where we set up a light or something to get these houses falling in the water as the waves are coming up?" So we knew that was going to be the most chaos, but we also knew we couldn't be there. There was no way to actually see it. You could have sat in the front of the house and watched the front door and never known the back of the house fell into the ocean. So we went down just where the max winds were and came back up and just driving around. But it's completely different for, say, a Cat 5 or Cat 4 that's moving in. Harvey, sitting in my car in the middle of the highway doing a live stream for, I think it was like 6 hours of Cat 3 or higher winds. And that was chaos. That was just sitting right in the middle of the chaos. I did a lot of scouting, though. Knew I had the different wind directions coming at me down that highway. I didn't have a whole lot of debris that could be thrown at me. But I had chaos happen all the way around me. And, that's in my little heaven at that point.
Where were you in Harvey, Brandon? Where did you catch the landfall for that one?
So I was in Rockport, parked right out in the middle of the highway. All the video that you see from Hurricane Harvey in the eye wall is either from me or of me, because I was the only lights, and I had lights wrapped all around my car, lit up, and only thing anybody could shoot was my car because it was the only light. So it was I was like right in the middle of the highway and just bringing it on. And of course, then nobody had ever really sat out in the middle of high-end Cat 4s in a car. I know several people have done it since, but even in places where I wouldn't do it now. But yeah, so it just depends. Every storm's a little different. You got to find what the impact's going to be for that storm. And
so what's the trick in that case? Are you nosing into the wind? Is that the idea?
Yes. Yeah. Keep those cars. So if your car can go 140 down the interstate, not flip from wind, it can sit in a hurricane at 140. But it better be right on the nose, or you're in trouble.
Right.
Because you get sideswiped when you're sitting out there all isolated by yourself. That car's just going to go rolling.
So I have one more quick question for both of you, and you guys can answer this pretty quickly. But when it comes to like someone who's new to chasing, maybe they're, a degreed meteorologist, maybe not. What resources, what are your top 5 weather resources you use for forecasting, or even for, to talk to other storm spotters? What should they do to make sure they're all set and ready to go?
Brandon's favorite's updraft Felicity tracks.
Yeah, right. For hurricanes, really all forecasts, I try not to listen to any. If I listen to everybody else's forecast, it's biased on my forecast. So I try and make it white noise and just tune it out. I look at different models, different indicators, based on location on where it's happening, I've been through that. More than likely, I've been through that storm, that situation before, or very close to it, and have a pretty good idea what's going to happen. And where National Weather Service or your meteorology media outlets, they're all looking at a bigger picture. I'm trying to find little spots inside there where everything's maximized. So it's just a completely different world of forecasting. And again, if I listen to National Weather Service and National Hurricane Center, then it's just bias on me, and I'm looking at their impacts from a broader perspective when I'm looking at tiny things.
No, that makes sense. Brett, what about you?
Well, I mean, on a generalized forecast, situation, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at, I'm going to pull water vapor and upper levels, looking at basically the charts that are derived off the soundings or the soundings themselves. Because you want to see, especially with the tropics, the biggest thing you want to see is steering environment, which is basically you want to see, high pressure in the upper levels that can allow this storm to organize, and lower levels and vent. And then, the sea, we want to look at sea surface temperature depth. So while you love to see those SSTs, really high on the surface, you want to see some depth with those if you're trying to, look for an intensifying potential storm or something really major. So those are the things that you kind of start with, and then just kind of go by the model. Because if a model doesn't initialize correctly, it's worthless. It's completely worthless. Scrap it, throw it out. And then also, once the storm gets close enough, radar's your best friend. Watch those wobbles. I mean, that's important. That's the reason we have outfitted vehicles, and we take those purposely, so that we can navigate and have radar and all the resources that we need, to make adjustments if we ever need to. So yeah, I would start with go back to the basics. Go to your hand analysis, see what the fronts look like, see what the soundings look like, surface of the sea surface temperatures, and then you can get a better idea on steering. In terms of intensification, it's just really hard. I mean, we've seen that this year. Storms in recent times, most storms seem to be intensifying all the way up to landfall. And that is a trend that we've seen really since Harvey. I mean, since it hit the, southeast coast of Texas. Even before that, really, you had Matthew and Dorian, and, just it's been a trend, and it's a nasty trend.
All right, everybody. Hey, that's the sound. It's time for our lightning round. Gentlemen, this is our game show of flashy and brilliant questions that we always get to play with our guests. Tonight, we're pulling back because we're going to have some fun here with the entire group tonight. We are playing, if you can see this, Late Night Family Feud.
Wow.
Family Feud Late Night Edition. So that's why I was joking earlier when you guys mentioned something about after hours and all of that. So here's what we're going to do. Brandon and Brett, since you guys do so much together, you're going to be one family. Okay? And then the Freaks, you're the other family. So this is how we're playing it. So I'm going to start the first question, Brett and Brandon. I'm going to start with you guys, and I'll tell you what it is. You can give me an answer, then you can keep it before you get 3 strikes, or you can pass it, right? And then they would have to try and get them all before 3 strikes, just like Family Feud. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So who's the dad of our family? That's the question.
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy?
Maz.
So here we go. So Brett, I'm going to start with you for the Brett and Brandon family team, whatever.
Brady just wants an allowance. That's all.
Top 6 answers on the board. Name something people do because of their midlife crisis.
Buy a car.
Buy a car.
Very good. That was number 1. That is number 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 still on the board. So you can choose, guys, to keep it, or you can pass it. What do you want to do, Brett?
We'll keep it.
Yeah, we're two middle-aged guys, so come on, bring it on.
Brandon, we're going to you. Name something people do because of their midlife crisis. Buy a car is already on the board.
Makeover.
Makeover. That is
Nice.
6. They change their hair or get a makeover. I did that. I changed my hair a few years back.
Which one?
So, yep, exactly. All right, so you got 2, no strikes. Brett, we're back to you. Something people do because of their midlife crisis.
All right, I got the number 1 on the board. Get a divorce.
You already have
thinking
number
that.
1 on the board with buy a car, but divorce is number 3.
Oh no!
Wow.
So you got 1 and 3. So what's still available is 2, 4, and 5. Brandon, 2, 4, and 5 still on the board.
I'm gonna go with what leads to that divorce: an affair.
That is number 2. You're exactly correct. That's what leads
4 for 4,
to the
baby.
divorce. That was number 2. All right, so 4 and 5 are the only ones left. Brett,
Oh,
what
man.
else you do because of your midlife crisis?
We're from the South, so I know that we'll always get railed over buying a boat.
Buying a boat, good.
Ah!
Not on there. First strike, Brandon.
Oh, start traveling or change of behavior.
What was that?
Start to travel or change some type of behavior.
That's kind of
Pattern.
2. That's kind of 2.
Yeah, why don't you go for 3?
one.
Just put
Pick
3
one.
in there. Just
Travel.
Whoa!
You got travel.
nice.
Killing
So
me,
Brett,
man.
we're back to you. Only 1 left.
And only 1 strike.
I
I'll
wanna
let you
help
know
them
this.
out.
You were kind of pretty close with your last one.
I was close. Buy a house.
I'm gonna give it to you. Because after I looked at it, you said buy a boat. It's spend or shop. Spend or shop. But I thought,
gotcha.
buy a boat. I suppose that's kind of spending. So I'll give that to you.
Wow,
All
that's
right.
good.
So you guys win all the
Wow.
points on that
Then?
one. Here's the next one. Maz, I'm going to start with you. Okay. Name something that immediately kills the mood. Name something that immediately kills the mood.
Oh,
Children.
Ooh.
Number one.
Good job.
So Maz, you guys want to keep this or pass it?
Well,
Keep
Gregor says keep it, so yeah, we're
All
gonna
right.
keep it.
All right, we're keeping it. Greg, we're going to you.
Wow.
Something that kills the mood.
So I'm an expert at killing the mood, and I'm going to say a phone call, Phil.
That is number 3 on the
Wow.
board. Phone ringing. Very good. 1 and 3. All right, Brady. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the board.
I don't know, like a political conversation or something. I don't
Oh, that was mine.
Oh,
know. Oh,
that's
Oh.
good. I'll only give
I'm
you 1
shocked.
strike, even though you said that was yours, Jan. All right, that's not on the board. MJ.
Talking.
Talking. I don't know. You can kind of have some dirty talk that kind
Well-
of helps the mood a little bit.
I don't know.
I'm gonna give you a buzzer on
He
that.
has
You
a
remember
tutor.
to wash the car, would you?
Two strikes. All right, Jen.
Oh,
What's
gosh.
killing the mood?
This is it, guys. I need help from my team, my family.
No, you can't.
You got
that's
it.
Not
I
how,
get it.
that's not how it works.
No, I didn't realize that's
Family
not how
Feud. Family
works.
Feud. You can't
Yeah,
ask
2
for help
strikes.
yet.
you got it.
It's on you.
Jen, you
Killing
know.
the
She should know every answer to this question.
Yeah, no kidding.
What kills the mood, Jen?
Brett, I know we've known each other for like 10 years. Oh my god. So kids phone call. I was thinking politics so bad.
Like who? Like I don't even get. Like where's that gonna come up?
Politics, anytime.
Politics are
yeah.
polarizing these
All right.
days.
So
Just you
yeah,
grab
but
my
like when
grandma?
is that
Oh,
coming
God.
up? When you're in the mood?
Hey,
like,
darling.
Oh man.
Who'd you vote for?
Exactly.
Was
It's a
that
mood
3
killer.
strikes?
That was 3
Bro.
strikes.
That was 3. All right. So Brandon and Brett, we are back to you guys. What kills the mood? What's already on the board is number 1, kids interrupting, and number 3, phone ringing.
Should we go with parents or gas, Brett?
Both. Both.
Gassy parents.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
That's a good one.
What's it going to be?
Big one.
Parents.
Parents.
Oh,
Very good. That was number 7. That was number
Now,
7. Let's
apparently-
see what else is on the board. Fart. There's your gas.
there's your
What
gas.
the heck?
Number
Bad
4,
breath.
argument or fight.
Oh,
Okay. Number 5, bad breath.
Oh wow.
Number 6, doorbell. Doorbell. All right, last one. Brett, we're back to you.
What?
Here we go. Last one. Now, top, what do we got? Top 7 answers on the board. Name something you like to do naked.
Oh.
Name something you like to do. Now, this doesn't have to be you. I don't want to know what you like to do naked. The people they survey. That's
I need to pass to Brandon on this one.
Actually, it is. I'm sorry, it's Brandon. I'm going to start with Brandon. I started with you last time. Brandon, your call.
Shower.
All right, number 1 on the board is bathe or shower. So you've got other 6 still on the board. Brett? Oh, do you guys want to keep it or pass?
What do you think, Brandon? I mean, I think we can keep it. That's what I was about to say.
All right, you guys know all about the naked activities of other people. All right, go ahead, Brett.
Well, I mean, you got Mississippi and Alabama man here. We're pretty good. We know what's up. Florida man's in the living room there.
You got it covered. You guys got it covered.
And he's naked.
Yeah, he's probably doing what my number 2 answer is going to be: sleeping.
Sleeping. Number 2 on the board. Very good.
Don't say number 2.
All right.
Oh.
All right, Brandon.
There you go, Brandon.
Hard to do it without being naked, but sex.
All right, that's number 4. So you got 1, 2, and 4.
Number 4.
You still got 4 left, Brett.
How's that 4?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I was about to say. I figured it'd be number 1.
Our Patreon member Josh is chiming in. He's saying storm chase naked.
Hey, look, don't tempt us with a good time. Anyway,
The naked chase.
oh no! Please don't start that
All right,
trend.
1,
We
2,
don't
and
want
4 on the board. You got 4 left.
Let's see.
I'm afraid.
Man.
Hit him with the buzzer, Phil. That doesn't count.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
First strike, Brandon, back to you.
Skinny dip.
Swim. That's number 3. So you got the top 4.
That took my hot tub away, so I was thinking hot tubs.
Okay, there's 3 more at the bottom. People like to do naked.
Man, this is hard. I mean, some people are crazy. Go to the bathroom. All right.
Ooh, 2
Sure, some
strikes.
people do, but
I mean,
no one on the survey did.
I had
guess.
like a 6-year-old. I mean, he ran around however he wanted to. So.
All right, so that's 2. Brandon, 2 strikes.
That was
What was
mine.
that?
What do you think?
Streak?
At a football game.
That's not it. All right, we're going to the freaks. Freaks, you can talk amongst yourself. Maz, you're going to be the final answer. There's still 3 on the board.
What do you think? Dance?
Something
What do
like
you guys
to
think?
something you like to do naked.
Dance.
Washing the dishes? Like, are we doing random things?
Ooh, vacuuming.
Yeah,
Vacuuming
vacuuming,
is
cleaning,
another one.
washing the dishes.
You fishing? What do you think?
I'm telling you, it's rollerblading.
Oh, you don't want to do it fishing.
No.
What about squatting?
Squatting naked.
Don't want
All
to hook
right,
the worm.
Maz, we need an answer.
Washing dishes, cleaning, I feel like. It has to be something with cleaning.
Yeah, it's got to be something that alone in your home.
All right, some sort of cleaning or vacuuming.
All right, cleaning.
Wow.
Yeah, you got it. That was number 6.
Everybody
you
visit
guys
Jen.
You guys missed sunbathing. Sunbathing.
yeah.
Oh, of course.
And
And then probably, and I think I heard you guys someone mention this, and it might have been Brett's son, but dancing naked.
Yeah, Maz got that one.
All
I do the
right,
Running
let's do
Man.
this, gentlemen. Brett, I'll start with you. Where can our listeners find you on social media?
All right, you can find me on Twitter, Storm Tracker, Facebook, meteorologist Brett Adair is my public profile page, and then YouTube. Go look at the Live Storms Media YouTube. I think you got it on in the background back there. Lots of videos. We're about to crank out all kind of content from this lake effect deal, and yeah, that's where you can find us.
All right, Brandon, how about you?
WX Chasing. So WX short for weather chasing, all one word, and you can find me on all platforms using that.
Very good. All right, tell you what, we're calling all weather enthusiasts. You can join the AMS Weather Band and become a part of the American Meteorological Society, whose members have been at the forefront of weather, water, and climate research for over 100 years. Any of you AMS members or have been before?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Okay, multiple people. Cool. So I think this is really cool because it's a great way for weather nerds, weather weenies, right, to really get involved with AMS. Here's what it says. It says you'll get to go behind the scenes with the 10,000 plus scientists, broadcasters, educators, and researchers of the AMS. So the AMS Weather Band, that's this group, this program. It brings together weather professionals and weather enthusiasts. Band members can grow their knowledge and appreciation of weather and climate by participating in virtual events, which is always easy to do, right? Online discussions. They've got Q&As, AMAs, webinars, photo contests, which they just completed a photo contest. Jump on Twitter. Check this out. One of our friends of the show, Jeremy Bauer, actually won or second or something like that in their photo contest, which is really cool. AMS Weather Band, it gives you the opportunity to interact directly with those in the scientific community. You can learn more and join the band today at amsweatherband.org. So we're going to go ahead and take our final break, and we're going to be coming back with some weather fools.
You guys are awesome.
Gentlemen, great job.
Last time I danced naked, I had a whole bunch of $1 bills in my belt.
There you go.
Really?
Believe it, Mads.
Put that on your LinkedIn profile. You got to be a professional dancer now.
Professional naked dancer.
Oh, look at Brandon.
Look
Oh,
at that.
yay.
Okay.
That's right outside the window here.
That's unreal.
What year was the big lake effect snow event in Buffalo last time? It would you got like 8 feet of snow or something like that. Does anybody remember what year that was?
2014.
2014. That was. Were you there for that, Brandon?
No, it's like one of the big regrets. It's like you asked me about regretting what storm would I go chase for hurricanes if it was snow. Was that?
And it was amazing. Like one county over, no snow.
Yeah.
It was remarkable. Yeah, it was crazy.
Hey, Brandon, so we've had Brett do this already, but we haven't had a chance to have you do a little soundbite for us. If you could just say, hey, this is Storm Chaser Brandon Clement, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
All right, let me say it 3 times really quick. All right. Hey, this is Storm Chaser Brandon Clement, and you're listening to the Stormfront Freaks podcast.
You want to do it again, or are you good with that?
I'm good with that if you are.
All right. We're good
I
with
can
it.
only screw it up more.
Awesome, Brandon.
Sometimes that's fun. We got some
Cantori,
good bloopers.
It took Cantori 5 takes to do that one.
5 takes. Lake Effect beer.
Oh,
nice.
yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
No
That's
kidding.
awesome.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, where's Serena? She needs to get
Yeah,
that.
that is a Serena beer.
Is it
right
from
there.
Buffalo or is
No,
it?
it's actually from Illinois.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh.
But I seeked it out just for you guys.
Like Central Illinois, like Rockford or something, right?
We had one last year in Massachusetts. So it was called Bomb Cyclone. So
Nice.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool.
for a big nor'easter. So.
All right.
That's awesome.
Hey, quick, Angela or Dan, you guys have any last questions for these guys? Nope. Cool. All right, gentlemen, be safe. Good luck. Get some good footage.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
good
you.
luck.
Godspeed.
Looking forward
do
to some time lapse, Brandon.
Exactly.
Well, I can't get it out until the snow's over. So wait till like Monday. Just refresh.
So you got to take one where you're standing outside for the whole time, and it's just you getting snow accumulating on you.
That's actually a
we
hilarious
actually talked
idea.
about doing that, like taping ourselves to a tree, and where the wind is going in, and just letting it drift up. I know,
Just have
seriously,
like
I thought
100
about
hand
that.
warmers just taped to your
So
body.
wild.
Yeah.
That would be crazy.
Do it
Getting the
naked.
laziness just crept in.
Yeah, as long as it's naked.
Wow.
Naked.
That's funny. All right. Well, appreciate you guys. Be safe. Thanks
right,
for
thank you,
giving
guys.
us some time.
Thank you so much, Brandon and Brett.
Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
See you.
All right. Coming back in, Brady, you've got Weather Fools.
Sounds good.
I
I've
have
got 3.
2.
Okay, so did I do the video of that lady getting rescued from that car in the last one? Okay, I don't think I did. All right, so it's
You haven't been on for a while because you had excuses for
2018 was
not coming
so
on.
Phil and Greg. Who else? Slackers. Just kidding. All right.
All right, everybody share your screen. All right, so then that's all we're doing is
got him.
doing a little Weather Fools, episode 171, show notes at stormfrontfreaks.com. MJ Fanbox?
Fanbox is empty.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
I thought I sent you some stuff.
Yeah.
I just
No.
sent you some stuff yesterday.
Oh, unless no, I didn't get it.
That's all right. You don't check the mail all the time. That's okay.
Hey, I'm looking
It's like,
at it.
it's like
right
a vacation home.
now.
It's a vacation home. around here.
I am looking at it right now. Nothing.
It's on
MJ,
the
you're
ground
awesome.
next to a baseball
Okay.
bat.
All right. Maybe it didn't go through. Could have happened. All right. And then the close. Everybody, do you have your close? I'll start the close. Then Jen, you're doing follow the show.
Yep.
Then Brady, YouTube.
You can subscribe to our YouTube page.
Maz,
or-
Patreon.
Wait.
Yep.
MJ, thanking the guests.
Thank you.
I'll find out how people can follow you guys. Greg, you've got next episode. And then I'm done. Okay?
Beautiful.
Everyone good?
Yeah, except my audio's still lagging, so I apologize.
Okay.
I don't know. It sounds okay. But
You gonna ask Santa for a new laptop or?
Maz,
That one
how is
right
it
here.
still light where you are? Are you like,
Oh.
in Antarctica right now where it just doesn't get dark?
Yes.
Fantastic.
His room always is so
What was I
clean.
gonna say? Oh, we can keep Dan and Angela in.
Okay.
We got more room now.
All right.
Those guys are out.
Dan's locked in right now.
So he's chilling.
Are you in an office right now? Oh, burning the midnight oil.
Oh,
Oh,
Dan.
man.
Been a long day. He shaved this morning.
Angela's in
overtime.
her office too.
Yeah.
You guys are both in your office. All right.
Oh.
You ready, Brady?
Let's do it.
Everybody ready? All right, Brady, coming in 3, 2.
Welcome back to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. Wow. Welcome back to the Stormfront Freaks podcast. Who is that? That's the who. Who am I? I'm Storm Eagle, Brady Harris. What is this? Guys, this is Weather Fools. And I think this is my favorite part of the show. Actually, this show is pretty great. So maybe this is my second favorite part of the show. But this is where us as the freaks are going out on the web, on the dark web, as Phil likes to say. We're looking for videos, photos, whatever we can find of someone doing something not so smart, and it deals with the weather. Phil, I understand you have some Weather Fools this week. Who are your
I
weather
do, and I didn't have to go to the dark web to find it either. Like
Supposedly.
we don't normally go to the dark web for Weather Fools. This stuff you can find on social
With
media.
some of the Weather Fools you got, they've got to come from the dark web. 'Cause I don't see
So this is from Twitter, NWS State College office, and they're talking about snow squalls, folks, and this is definitely probably happening in all kinds of places. But watch this video of a vehicle car dash cam following these trucks and following these vehicles, and all of a sudden the squall hits. I mean, it immediately hits.
Oh my
And
god!
you see
Oh my god!
vehicles all over the place.
Oh
Holy
my
crap.
god!
And you're just trying to dodge. This car's trying to dodge
Jeez.
everything.
Oh my
Oh, there
God,
goes
look at
another
that
one.
truck.
Oh my goodness.
Another one tipping. Oh my gosh.
Oh.
What a great commercial, though. Like, I mean, if anything's going to give you the experience of being in a multi-car pileup, that's the video. Amazing.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
And really scary.
So guys, be aware of that. What's great is the National Weather Service now actually has warnings for snow squalls and things like that. So just be aware, guys. When this happens, it's going to be whiteout conditions immediately. So just be careful of that. And then this one comes from Twitter, Safety Alerts Minnesota. And so this is no different. Winter weather, roads can get icy as well. So you're going to watch a vehicle coming down the highway. So this is one of these highway cams. You're going to watch a vehicle coming What's that?
This just happened recently. Yeah.
Do you know where it is?
No.
Where it was? Okay.
But I mean, you can
but
see
anyway,
how
watch-
icy.
watch- Watch
can
this
see
car
the
coming.
glare.
Yeah.
There it goes.
no.
Oh, my
no.
goodness.
And now it's
Oh.
facing traffic. Has time to quick turn around and get going again.
Wow.
Oh my God.
That was
So
so
lucky.
lucky.
Like
No
this
way.
is an
Oh my
audio podcast. So if you're
Oh
listening
my
to this, you
God.
really have to go
Watch
check
this,
out the
yes.
show notes and see this because this is unbelievable.
And there's a
Donut in the
semi
middle of
truck
the
like
highway.
right behind him that misses him as
Bill,
he
is
does
it?
a 180.
Wow.
Yeah, just
And then he
barely.
backs up, turns around to do a 180, get going back down the
He
highway.
wasn't even phased. I mean, he almost got planted. Just like, you know what? I'm all right.
It's like Starsky and Hutch.
I guarantee there's a Hershey squeeze on the seat of his.
I don't even know what
Oh
that
my-
means.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
When you do it, you'll know.
Bill, those were good. Those were real. Like
Yeah.
you have to go watch those. Those are insane.
I agree.
Man.
I agree. Well, you're going to see all those on stormfrontfreaks.com, but we're not done quite yet. Greg, I understand you have some weather fools.
Yeah, I got a couple fun ones here. These come from the Weather Channel's Instagram account. And before I play the video, I want you to read what the Weather Channel said. Selfie reminder, watch out for waves. This is a couple trying to get the ultimate selfie. And here comes the wave behind them.
Right
And
behind him, there it
boom.
is.
Oh.
We could
And
we could all
I
see
think
it
there's-
coming, but they couldn't.
Yeah, and there's a great message in there too about like they said, selfie reminder, like be smart about it. It's not worth the selfie. My second one though, I think is really quite amazing, and I don't know if this is a weather fool, Phil, so you can scold me later. But watch these guys. They're fishing on a boat, and this shark jumps out of the water and lands on the boat.
Oh no! Look at that.
Now, I don't know if you guys can
Oh my God.
imagine anything more terrifying than that, but I thought that was a pretty cool one.
That's total
Or
Jaws
sunbathing
right there.
on the boat.
Yeah, it
So,
is.
so this shark is
Naked.
literally is at the bow of the ship. Like,
Yeah.
how are they going to
Shark,
get it
yeah.
off?
He got off on his own, they said. So no
Reported
harm
that.
done. I guess as they say, no harm, no foul, but still terrifying.
Didn't
Once
look like he
caught a
was moving
fish
too hard to
this
get off.
Yeah.
He was looking for a free ride.
Yeah, he was sunbathing naked on the bow of the boat.
All right, now my third one comes from North Dakota. And last week, North Dakota, like Minnesota, like up here in the Canadian plains, lots of ice, lots of snow. And these guys are out golfing at a driving range, and ice
Topgolf.
built up on the netting. And watch the
Oh,
net,
there it's going.
collapses all the way around, along,
Oh my
almost
gosh.
like dominoes. And I guess the real weather fool here is the guys that are still out golfing in this.
Look
It's
at
like
that.
glass.
They
shot.
must have been covered with ice, huh?
It had to be.
Just the weight of all that. and
It
they
was
just
the weight of the
collapsed.
ice, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a top golf, I think, Greg. it
Brady,
looks like.
you'd be top golfing in weather like that.
Oh,
Still.
absolutely. Well, because hey, those bays are heated. They got drinks, they got snacks coming to you, and they're heated. Like, what else could you ask for?
Well, as far as I'm
Yeah.
concerned, they're weather fools. You know what? Stay indoors, stay by the fire, have a drink of whiskey, and stay out of the cold weather.
There you go, Greg. Those are some pretty great ones, I think. Well, I think I'm the last one. I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Some of you guys may have seen this, and the only reason why I bring this one up is because I actually am a street away from this, and I met this lady today, and I saw
Wow.
that we were doing the tropical storm show, and so I wanted to show it. This was during Hurricane Ian. There was a lady that was trapped in her car, and this was in the middle of the storm surge. And this is a fireman essentially breaking her window to rescue her. And apparently she had been stuck in her car for a couple of hours and was
wow.
just in the middle of the hurricane, just waiting
lot
to
of
be
water.
rescued.
It's got to have
and
pruny toes, I bet. Her toes are all
Yeah.
pruned up.
Yeah, well,
No
because the
kidding.
water is up to almost her windshield for those that are watching. So the water in the car is probably I think it's probably in her ankles or up to her knees, and I couldn't even imagine that. But apparently she was saying she was trying to escape the surge, but just got caught in it, and
Hope a shark doesn't jump up on the hood.
No kidding.
Right?
Oh
my
Her
gosh.
car must not have been working when they called for the evacuation, I suppose. I bet
yeah,
she didn't get it started.
Exactly.
Yeah, she was saying as soon as she saw the water coming, she's like, I probably need to get out. And it was just like, it just came up so fast that I think that's a
That's a
reminder.
sign.
When you get an evacuation, just get out.
Yeah.
That's a sign.
Wow.
Well, cool, guys. I think that about does it for Weather Fools. So we're going to have the links to these at stormfrontfreaks.com. Look for episode 171 in the show notes. Back to you, Phil.
Very good. Well, hey, folks, I think that just about does it for this episode of Stormfront Freaks podcast. So thanks for listening or watching.
And before we announce the guest of our next show, if you like the show, don't forget to follow the show on your podcast player so you get notified and receive the latest episodes of our show delivered right to your library the moment they get released. Find all the podcast player options at stormfrontfreaks.com, and please help us out and send a friend your favorite episode.
And guys, you can also subscribe to our YouTube page, and you can watch previous versions of our recordings of the Stormfront Freaks Raw, which is completely unedited. I mean, completely. You can hear all of the great conversations during the break, great questions from our VIP guests, and who knows what else is beeped out or edited out of our audio podcast. Thank you, MJ, for doing that, by the way. You can find a link at stormfrontfreaks.com.
And also visit our website to find our Patreon link to check out all the ways we can do more together while supporting the show. Visit stormfrontfreaks.com to find the Patreon link to join the team, our Raw broadcasts, have access to lots of merch, and or even become one of our limited VIPs and join us in the studio with our guests on every show.
That's stormfrontfreaks.com, right? And special thanks to our guests, Brett Adair and Brandon Clement.
Awesome. Yeah, we had a good time with them. Let's find out how people can follow you as well. Brady, I'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and TikTok, although actually I haven't been on TikTok lately, but more on Instagram, Columbus Weather with Brady.
All right, Greg?
Tornado Greg on social media. And if you're interested in learning more about your camera, you can check out my teaching website for photography, cameraeasy.ca.
And hey, I see you got a bunch of merch too. I talked to you about that the other day. Where do people get your merch?
Yeah, you can actually head on over to tornadohunter.com, and I've got lots of cool merch, t-shirts and hats and all that kind of stuff. Thank you for the plug, Phil.
No, that's cool. I liked it. So Jen, how about you? Where are people finding you?
You can find me on Twitter at jwatson_WX, and then Instagram and TikTok at Jennifer Weather, and then jenniferweather.com.
All right, MJ.
Still hanging out on Twitter for now, anyway. At Mark Stormpod, M-A-R-C Stormpod.
And until midnight tonight.
Yes.
I know.
Maz.
And I'm right behind MJ there on Twitter at MoneyStorm, the number 4 and the letter U.
It's just you'd find if Twitter disappeared, you'd probably find out in a month or two.
What
I would
happens at
imagine.
midnight? Am I missing something?
Yeah, they think Twitter might shut down, Brady.
That's fantastic. So this is like Y2K all over again.
Yeah, sort of. So, and you can find me. I'm usually tweeting on our Twitter site as well at Stormfront Freak. That's where you can find me.
Right on. Well, next episode, guys, we're going to be back recording live after the holiday, December 8th. With part 2 of our tropical storm training series. Now, tonight's show was awesome, but next show is even going to be that much better. We got hurricane superstars Jim Cantori and Josh Morgerman will be with us in studio to discuss forecasting landfall and where you're going to target the eye wall. Patreon members can join our raw video recording live, and the edited podcast will be available to everyone else on Sunday.
Very good. I think that about does it. So I'm going to go ahead and signal the all clear for Brady, Greg, Jen, MJ, Maz, and of course, Angela and Dan as well. We'll catch you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Peace.
Where do you find
Brady.
everything? Is it stormfrontfreaks.com? Is that where we...
So Brady,
You set a record for saying that.
No, what's funny is I used to be the one
Yes.
always saying that. And that's why I thought, oh my God, I'm killing it. We got to spread it around a little bit and mix it up.
hey Brady. So Elon Musk
Yeah.
has restricted access for Twitter employees from the building because they're worried about people sabotaging the platform. And they say literally it could shut down at any moment.
It's
No
crazy.
way.
He's pissed off like everyone.
Like
Everybody.
it's unbelievable how he completely destroyed not only the company but his reputation and his legacy, and it's just for what?
I know. Like, I mean, it's been what, like a week and a half, maybe? Like,
Yeah, like
I mean, seriously, was he just pissed that he lost the case and had to buy it, and so he just said, "Screw it! It's only $44 billion. Who cares?"
yeah, I don't know.
Touche.
I don't know, but I don't know.
It's unreal.
It's really
one of those
bad.
data
It's
wipe
really
things
bad.
where you can just go post whatever, and then at midnight it'll all just get erased. So I guess it's just free for all.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We're still live, by the way. MJ,
So
kick us
what-
off.
Yeah,
Which-
that's true.
So,
We're not
what-
going to get Twitter as an advertiser anymore.
what actually is what's with the deadline tonight? I knew there. What's with the deadline?
oh, I
for
don't
what?
I don't know. I made that part up. I
No,
don't
there
know.
is something.
Really?
Oh, that's the employees have to decide by today whether or
Oh,
not
right.
they want to take
Whether they're
severance
in.
or work like
Oh,
bloody their knuckles
Extreme.
working. So
wow.
And they're not keeping quiet at all. I mean, things are getting leaked everywhere.
yeah.
On
Elon, if you're listening, I'm in. Right.
And
But,
apparently
hey,
there's
I was just gonna
there's a Discord for Twitter employees and former Twitter employees, and apparently it's very interesting and entertaining to be following.
I
apparently,
bet it is.
Oh, I need to get on that.
yeah. So
That's hilarious.
All right, we'll go. We'll end. Bye, everybody.
Oh yeah, bye guys.
check out lolcats.com.